हरे ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. Today, some technical issue with Prabhu, J.C. Balaram Siddhi Prabhu's network, so he's not able to take the first session. We'll have Prabhupada's purport reading session today directly. So we were discussing that how King Vena was instructed by the sages. So they gave very nice principles which are actually very important for a king to follow, and this is applicable for the present day kings also. And but somehow he did not like it. So we will see what he's going to say. So they gave very nice instructions, and we understood that how it is the responsibility of the king and what all things he should do to really benefit himself and the citizens both the ways. And I'll just share the screen.
Hare Krishna. So King Vena, he was following the instructions of Shastras, but he's only taking one part. That king is the representative of Supreme Lord, but he is not following the other part. That he has to obey the orders of the superiors and other part also. But he took one part very seriously. That he is a representative of all these demigods. King Vena continued, for these reasons, O Brahmana, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities, you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblation of all sacrifices. Very important understanding. Actually, people should follow the Shastras, but how it should be followed? This is also very important instruction which Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, where he is explaining how how much it is very important. So, like what a person should do and what a person should not do, they're all given. But a person should try to study the scriptures, because the scriptures are the way to understand God. So with our own strength, we can never understand the personal nature of Lord. So with our own strength, it is because Lord is omnipresent, that there is a kind of universal consciousness that that is foundation of this world. So with his own strength, a person can never understand. So it is very important that we need to we understand through scriptures only, which is a manifestation of his will. So what is the first thing we understand from the scripture is what is the manifestation of Lord's will. So scriptures are the recorded will of the Lord. That's how we should understand. If you know that God is a person, that means he wants something. So we are used to the fact that that all personalities want something, right? So if you are a person, you need something. Now we should understand that Lord is also person and he also wants something. But how do I understand what he wants? Yes, we have to understand it through the scripture only. So what does he want? So uh, there are certain rules and regulations in scripture. So that's how he is telling you should live. You live by these rules, you live by these rules. So Lord is giving the rules and regulations for us. So that is a way of his explaining our will, his will of helping us to understand. Like if you follow them, then we will be benefited. Because understanding God is a person brings a freedom to a person. He gives him the understanding that I am a person and that I by my own will I can serve the supreme personality of Godhead. So and Krishna is explaining that what happens to people who do not follow the scriptures and what is the reason for this. So here also we can see Vena, he is affected by his lust, anger, greed, pride, and they consider differently. So these are the qualities of a very typical demonic person. They want to understand, they want to be self-centered. Like a very important thing, why the Paramatma realization and Bhagwan realization, the main difference is people, they relate to Lord who is the controller, who is the maintainer, who is the creator of this world. Whereas Bhagavan, he is in his own Leelas. So people relate more to Paramatma than Bhagavan. And why? Because they are selfish. We want to always think about ourselves. And Paramatma is doing everything for us in this material world. So it is easy to connect to Paramatma. So Lord is understood as a person. So all these, any other Abrahamic religion, everybody, they all relate to Lord like that only, as a person who is a creator and all. But for them to accept Lord, his Leelas, Vaikuntha Loka, it's very difficult actually. When they ask what is Lord doing there, they say, oh, he is sitting there and reading Torah. No? That means they don't know that he has some devotees there doing pastimes. It's very difficult to relate. So here, these are the self-centeredness we have, and this self-centeredness is the quality. Of course, they're much better, but there are some more people who want to themselves imitate God. And now he says that in lust, greed, pride, and all these offenses of one's desire to put one's will higher to the will of the most higher. This is actually what people do. But Shastras, so they help us to lead a proper life because these are the gates to hell. Vena actually goes to hell because lust, greed, pride, anger, envy. So they are all roads to hell, what Krishna tells. So a Shastra vidhim utsijya vartate kamakarta. He don't want to follow Shastra. He is misquoting Shastra. If a person rejects and acts on his own will, then what happens? He is driven simply by lust. Nasa siddhim avapnoti. Such a person will not achieve any perfection, right? And he cannot be happy in this world also. And he will not achieve perfection. Now, the point will be, I can see so many people, they are living happily, they don't follow God, they don't do anything, and they are happily living. Actually, it is not possible like that. They are making so much money, they cheat people, they have so much money. We don't understand the happiness is in the satisfaction of mind, in the peace of mind. So if our definition of happiness is in peace of mind, then then we can say who is happy, who is not happy. That is the point. For us, happiness is like external wealth, external prosperity. But happiness is in what Krishna tells, Ashantasya kutas sukham. Without Shanti, there is no Sukha. Shanti can happen when our mind is very peaceful. And mind can be peaceful if you are following proper dharma. If you have lived proper life, even if I am very poor person also, But if I lived a proper life, that will make me happy. Because the mind is, even if I live a poor life, but if I lived a righteous life, mind is very calm. That will make me happy. So we have to understand that it's not a question of how much wealth we have. That was actually Vedic culture. Vedic culture, the king's responsibilities, Brahmana's responsibilities is to help keep mind of the people very cool and calm. And in that way, whatever they have, they are very contented and they think of something higher in life, higher purpose in life, like that. So, but that is actually perfection. We all want to achieve perfection, but perfection in this material world, they're different, no? Like there are people, when you ask, okay, what is the perfection? Reading Bhagavad Gita is perfection? They say, no, I want to read some other books. So reading that book, no, if I read some other novel or whatever, Harry Potter and other thing, they say that is watching some movie, it is perfection. No, to achieve perfection, we need to, what exactly is Siddhi? What is the perfection means? What is the highest perfection? Because a person want to either to be righteous in his own way and excel in his values, or he is uh, very calm and cool, composed. Now, this is actually that is following dharma. Like no, in Vedic culture, there is some nice things to understand. Uh, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, right? Artha is also perfection. Dharma is perfection. Dharma is perfection in the sense that he is following a righteous life with excellent values, and that in itself is very good. So he can be sure that he can calmly look into eyes of everyone else because I am following properly. He does not need to hide. He is not afraid. So that is the perfection in dharma. And then the perfection in artha is what economically do prosper. How many choppers I have, how many islands I have purchased, how many houses I have purchased. So it's like a perfection in artha. And then the dharma artha is what? Then kama, perfection in kama is sensual pleasures. What type of hotels I am staying, what type of cruise I went, what type of tours I am doing. So kama. And then there is moksha means you get liberation. But our Acharya says, no, 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 no. This is all wrong. This is all insult that all. But they insist that there is excellence is in the fact uh, that uh, neither dharma, artha, kam, moksha. It is actually the purpose is that prema pumartomana, the crust jewel, gem of all perfection is prema pumartomana, the ultimate goal of human life. Because man was born in order not only to experience love, to experience love in the most purest form, authentic form, the highest goal that is. So Krishna says that if a person want to achieve even an ordinary goal, simple goal, he cannot do this if he does not follow the scriptures. So what to speak of the highest goal and incomprehensible goal, that is love of God. So when the nothing is left in the heart but love, no, one should not even this is not possible if without following the basic rules now. So following vidhi or instruction of scriptures. So we must build our life according to the solid principles of scriptures, realizing that this is the only chance for me to satisfy Krishna. How else I can satisfy Krishna? That's how we should feel. So because Lord is so huge, what else I can do to please him? Just do his will, act according to him. So his will is according to the scriptures. That means if I do this, then I gradually prepare my heart for love to come into my heart. That is the purpose. So love should descend in our heart. I should act in such a way. So like sometimes people, especially uh, in the Christian culture, no, they neglect this because Christianity, in essence, it arose as a antithesis to observance of the rules of the scriptures. So this is if you like, sometimes people ask questions. Are people in Christianity, they read Bible. In India especially, they regular every Sunday they go to church, all of them, and they read Bible. But you Hindu children, they don't go to temple, they don't read scriptures. Why this is not so much prevalent? Why they are not taught like that? There is a difference here. What is the difference? Please try to understand. What is this culture which India had, where you don't go every Sunday to a temple to read some Bhagavad Gita, but in Christians they do it. There is a difference because Judaism, from the very beginning, from which Christianity arose, uh, it's a natural religion, a place of very large emphasis on the fact that the person must follow the rules. That is actually Judaism. They're very orthodox people. But when the rules became an end in itself, and person followed the rules for the sake of the rules only. So that's how Judaism ended. Like they just follow the rules without knowing the purpose in it. We have to follow Shastras, but we should know the purpose behind following Shastras also. So this is a very important understanding. If what is Christianity based, what is Judaism, if you want to know the difference, and if you want to know what is Sanatan Dharma, where the difference is there, this is one very interesting difference. Judaism, they follow very strictly the Torah. Rules should be followed very strictly. Now, when it comes to Christianity, Christianity started uh, because they are just following the rules for the rules' sake. So Jesus Christ comes and he said, "Oh, these Pharisees and scribes are rascals, and no, they gathered here, put on hoodies, impersonating spiritual people, but they forgot about God." And he was right also. So he identified the fault with the Judaism. He said they are just following the rules. They are not understanding only the purpose. So he says that a person can forget about God by following the rules of the scriptures. Although the meaning of following the rules of scriptures is to remember Him. But unfortunately, the person is so arrogant that he will use everything. So they are following the scriptures, but to forget the Lord. Like I told this story also once. Rabbis, the Jews, spiritual teachers, no? Rabbis, they were having a meeting, and there was a discussion on whether to have a portable kitchen. By following portable kitchen, it will be uh, pure or it is impure. If you move the kitchen from here there, it will be pure or impure. So one young rabbi who was very intelligent, he said, no, no, it is pure only, no problem. But the other, all the scholars, elders, they said, no, no, no. According to Torah, it is impure. He tried to put all logic. And then they said, no, 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 it is impure. Then he said, okay, I'll prove my point. If I, if, uh, if I am right that it will remain pure, let this tree prove that I am right. So immediately, as soon as he said, the tree, it got uprooted and it fell long distance. Then this young rabbi asked, so do you agree? No. They said, no, no, no. We follow Torah only. A tree cannot prove that you are right. And then he said, okay, let this water creek, there was some water body that was flowing, some small river creek. He said, let it prove that I am right. So immediately the water started flowing upwards. And then he said, now did you agree that no portable kitchen can be clean? They said, no, no. We follow only Torah. We don't follow all these things. Then he said, okay, let this wall prove. And there was a big wall. They were all sitting besides. And the wall started leaning, and it started falling down. And the rabbi says, hey, Here the scholars are discussing what are you do to with the wall? Why are you interfering in our discussion? The rabbi they shout on the wall. Suddenly the wall stops falling. And then this young rabbi he is desperate. He said, okay, let Lord prove it. Let Lord prove that I am right. A portable kitchen can be. Then immediately from the sky, the voice came that no portable kitchen is a pure only, and this person is right. Then all the rabbis said, no, 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 we cannot accept it because for us the book is the scripture is actually the proof. We just follow the scripture, and then after some time, this rabbis who died, and then he goes to the spiritual, the kingdom of God, and there he asked the what do you call the assistant of the Lord. When we are having this discussion on earth about what is pure, what was Lord thinking at the time? Because we didn't follow even what Lord. Then he says that, oh, Lord was, Lord said, my children defeated me because they just follow the scripture. They don't follow anything else. Now, the point is what that they follow the scriptures for the sake of following it. They forget God only. So this is the problem. So although the meaning of following all the rules is to remember Him, but unfortunately the person is so arrogant that he will use everything. And when Jesus Christ came, he was indignant at this, and he said, "No, all these people they are just they are these scrubs and all. What these people are doing? The meaning of scriptures is love of God. That's actually what he says." And you forget about God hiding behind his words, and you took his words and covered yourself and forget about him only. And then he announced a new era, the New Testament. He said that ultimate goal of man is love. And a religion arose. Now this is another problem. So what is the problem with Christianity now? We'll see. Then the religion arose outwardly on this wave of denial of the rules of the scriptures. That means they said, no need of scriptures. Love of God is actually what is important. But by this also nothing came good, because in the end people separated their lives from God. So what happened as a result of this? So a big religion came, very good religion, no doubt. Jesus Christ gave the impulse, but there is a mistake that led to the fact that uh, to read the instructions that a person need to completely abandon this world, cross out of this world in order to find God. So the people who followed Christ, they completely opposed this world and the spiritual world. And then what happens? They understood that okay, we just have to religion in which a people goes to the monastery and we can achieve something. If we goes on to the monastery regularly every Sunday, that's it. What is the main mistake is they separated religion from the life. So because uh, they separated our personal life and religion, but that is the mistake, because God who is present or is present in our life and following the rules also. So this is not understood properly. I will explain. Like for our life itself is for the purpose of Lord. It's not that you separate your life and religion. The regular life is separated from religion. So this difference is created. So there is a separation between one and the other, religion and our real life. No, our life itself should be a religious life or a spiritual life. That is the main mistake. Hope you are understanding the difference. Uh, Rules and regulations are important. Dharma is important. Then only we will be able to, like say, Arjuna, Krishna did not tell Arjuna, okay, go every day to temple. No, he told you fight. Your fighting itself is a service to me. If he says that uh, they say that they are contrasting one with another. It turned out a religion which a person, if he goes to a monastery, he can achieve something. If he has not gone to monastery and if he lives a joyful life, he really cannot achieve anything. That means for you to achieve something spiritual, you have to go to monastery regularly. Because God, who is present or may not be present in our life in the form of following rules. So there is a separation between one and another. Religion has been separated from our real life. So this is the problem. It turned out that religion in which a person uh, like for us, even brushing the teeth can be religious act. It is a spiritual activity. Whole life is a spiritual because Vedas explain that all the scriptural rules are necessary. What is the purpose? Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jatuchit. Sarva vidhi nishedasu yetayor kinkara. This is what Padma Purana says. All the vidhi nishedas are only one purpose, to always remember Krishna. That means we all brushed our teeth in the morning is a spiritual activity. If we wake up and brush, it is not something from the highest spiritual goal also. I wake up in the morning. So Sanatan Goswami explains that when I wake up in the morning and I have to jump out of the bed and say Krishna, 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 because there is all the tamoguna accumulated, you just chant the name of Krishna and you brush the teeth while remembering Krishna. Because in the end, Krishna said that you need to be very neat and clean. So this is what is the difference between Christianity and our Sanatan Dharma. They also say love of God. We also say love of God. They also say you should surrender. We also say, but their way is that the rules are not very important for them. You just go to monastery and believe in God, Jesus. That's sufficient. And Judaism, they just follow the rules. But for us, it's a synthesis. We follow the rules to remember the Lord. This is the main difference. So why I'm telling, because King Vena is also following, but he is misquoting. This is why they became upset. So here, as stated, Krishna himself throughout Bhagavad Gita, there is no truth superior to. King Vena was imitating the Supreme Personality of God and was also speaking out of false pride, pretending himself as a Supreme Lord. These are the characters of demonic persons. So this is what I discussed is from the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yashastra vidhim vitsija vartate kam. So this is actually what is a typical demoniac mentality. And that's the king who became unintelligent due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path, became actually bereft of all good fortune. He could not accept the request of the sages, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was condemned. And so the demons actually cannot have any faith in the words of authorities. This is the problem. In fact, they're always disrespectful to authorities. They manufacture their own religious principles and disobey great personalities like Vyasa and Narada. So this is the problem with them. My dear Vidra, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king, who thus himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages, and the sages, being broken hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. So they tried very nicely to explain. This is a very typical demonic mentality. They cannot accept authority, they don't understand authority, they act whimsically and end up in troubling themselves and everybody else. And this is what is happening in the society presently. All the great saintly sages immediately cried, kill him, kill him. He is the most dreadful, sinful person. If he lives, he will certainly turn the world into ashes in no time. So this is the blessing. Instead of blessing, you got huge curse. So the sages curse. Now, they generally, sages, they are very compassionate. But sometimes, for the sake of protecting the general populace, they may end up in doing some activities like this, which is ultimately good only. So they have the power. Like when Vishwamitra Muni comes to Lord Ram, to Dashrath Maharaj and says, I want Lord Ram, I want to kill Maricha, Subahu and all these big demons who are defiling my sacrifices. Then uh, then Dashrath Maharaj becomes very frightened. He said, oh, he's a small boy, just 12 years old, how can I send him? And then Vasishtha says, sorry, Vishwamitra Muni comes here. Vasishtha says that, what do you think? Vishwamitra Muni can himself kill all the demons, but he is, and he has all the power and he has all these weapons also. He performed tapasya, but he don't want to do it. He want a Kshatriya to do it. So don't worry, he will protect him. You send him. So that means they had the power. Vena was very powerful. That's why Hiranyakashipu, he performed more austerities than Bhrigu also. So after Brahma, the second austerities, the second number comes of Bhrigu. And then comes other sages. So Hiranyakashipu thought, if I am less than Bhrigu, Bhrigu will curse me to death. So he performed austerities more than Bhrigu also, so that even Bhrigu cannot curse him. So they all, this saintly, this, what do you say, the demons, they also know that Brahmanas are more powerful than us sometimes, Brahma Rishis. And here, saintly persons are generally very kind. Prabhupada is writing the same. But they are not unhappy when a serpent or a scorpion is killed. It is not good for saintly persons to kill. But they are encouraged to kill demons who are exactly like serpent and scorpions. Therefore, all the saintly sages decided to kill King Vena, who was so dreadful and dangerous to all human society. We can appreciate the extent to which the saintly sages actually control the king. If the king or the government becomes demonic, it is a duty of saintly persons to upset the government and replace it with desiring persons who follow the orders and instructions of saintly persons. If we do anything wrong to saintly person, our lifespan reduces. And that's actually what happened to Mr. N, Mr. Nair in Mumbai. He tried to cheat Prabhupada with the Juhu land. And then the result came. He died actually. This is the problem. We should not insult or offend any saintly personalities. Immediately our lifespan reduces, and it is opposite also. If you please them, our lifespan increases. It's a very dangerous situation. We should be very careful with them. And here, the saintly people sometimes they curse, even if they feel sad because of our behavior. That is also curse for us. They may not curse, but they felt sad in their heart because of certain behavior. Krishna will punish. It's very dangerous. And the saintly sages continued. This impious, impudent man does not deserve to sit on the throne at all. He is so shameless that he even dared insult the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada is writing, one should not at any time tolerate blasphemy and insult against Lord Vishnu or his devotees. A devotee is generally very humble and meek and is reluctant to pick a quarrel with anyone, nor does he envy anyone. However, a pure devotee immediately becomes fiery with anger when he sees that Lord Vishnu or his devotee is insulted. This is a duty of a devotee. Although devotee maintains an attitude of meekness and gentleness, it is great fault on his part if he remains silent when the Lord or his devotees blaspheme. So this is a very important instruction. Nayam artya asad virto naradeva varashramam yo adhyaj patim vishnum vindat anapatrapa. So this is what he says, that we cannot tolerate when the Lord is insulted or devotees. We should not also. We should not tolerate when Lord and his devotee. And but King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Lord, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. And when human society individually or collectively become godless and blaspheme the authority of Supreme Lord, it is certainly destined to ruination. Such civilization invites all kinds of bad fortune due to not appreciating the mercy of Lord. And this is actually happening also. All Western civilization, many places, they are becoming very atheistic. What is the problem is they say we have everything. They have money, they have opulence, they are beautiful, and they have good health. But what is not there? Peace of mind is not there. And large amount of people are becoming atheistic. For them to go to church is previously, at least for Christmas, they used to go to church. Now they think Christmas means baking the cookies or is what is going Christmas. They don't even even going to church is also forgotten. No, only for marriages they go for church, or somebody dies they go to church. Otherwise they don't even go. Why? Because now what will happen to them? They live a very disturbed life. Their mind is completely corrupt. They cannot have any peace, and they die like that only, not knowing anything. Unfortunately, they cannot even think in a spiritual direction only. So this is the situation presently, unfortunate situation of the world. And wherever people they don't do any spiritual activities, mind is going to be damaged for them. Damage of mind means basically very distracted, very disturbed, and no, like say, if a boy is watching all these YouTube shorts, no, scrolling on the shorts, every minute is going up, 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 and if he does for a few years like that, can you imagine what will be his state? How much level of how much focus he can do on anything? He will not be able to focus. What happened to him? Mind got damaged, right? He cannot focus, he cannot be attentive, he cannot, he is very restless. All these things will happen to him. Now, same thing, we may say, he's healthy, he's beautiful, his money is there, everything is there. But what is not there? Peace of mind is not there for that boy. He may be very wealthy, his father has earned so much money, everything is there for him. But mind is completely damaged. And now, when we don't believe in Lord and then we are living a life like that, our mind is getting damaged because there is no appreciation to the mercy of Lord. So, no gratitude, no peace. So, this is actually no happiness because it is certainly destined to ruin. So, ruination. we we should not get, we should be very clear about it. We should not get confused seeing array so much opulence is there. They're very celebrities are there, they're very handsome, they're very famous, they're very charismatic, but unfortunately we only see that part. We cannot see the mind, no? Mind is damaged only. So that should what we should see, no, which cannot be seen by normal people. We should see that, right? They have damaged their mind. But somebody, not that we are against opulence, charisma, and beauty and all. If they have and then they are living a very righteous life, then they can be happy. So it's not what externally we have, what internally we have, that is the happiness is proportionate to that, right? So in Vedic culture, this is what is given preference. How much righteously a person is living. So he is giving more values. He is appreciated more. So the Brahmanas are not very opulent, but they are very much respected because internally they are very pure. So that is the criteria to decide, whether a person is happy or not, is based on how much internal purity is maintaining. The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against Supreme Lord. Thus, without using any weapons, the sages killed Vena simply by very high sounds. Vena is killed. So if you are not grateful, that itself is the person is already dead. If a person is not grateful, uh, he will he cannot be happy. So, like say now we are in a little better situation. Say we have our house, we have our car, we have our food, we have everything. Still, we cannot say we are 100% happy. Now, a person who don't have house is living in a very deeply attached some hut, and he don't have food for 3 times in a day, and he don't have good health, or he don't have proper conveyance. He has to walk for so much. He has to work very hard. When he sees us, when he compares with our life, he will think we are very happy people. And but reality is we are not 100% happy because we compare with whom? Who is much more, is having a big cars, big villas, or is a cruise ship or other thing. We think maybe they must be very happy. It's actually like that only. So it's not what we have, it's the state of mind only that decides. So that is why we should follow rules, we should follow dharma, we should follow live a righteous life. If I am envying somebody, if I am upset with somebody, shout at them, wife and husband, everything is there, but they fight. We don't know the reason only. Nobody knows. Like, both of them, they are having good jobs, they earn good money, but they fight. And they're good looking also, and they have very good house also. And they happily fight also. You don't know the reason why they are fighting. You know the reason? The reason is the mind is disturbed. That's why they fight. Otherwise, they need not fight. This is the problem. Why there is fight is because mind is damaged. You didn't live properly. When the two damaged mind comes, what they can do? They'll not cooperate. They'll fight. The training is that's why given. Array Babar, follow rules, follow rules. Then mind has an ability to tolerate. It will not get distracted so fast. Anything goes wrong, we will not be upset. We can tolerate. We accept it. Okay, it's okay. If instead of purchasing something of uh, branded one, you purchased a normal one, and there will be a big issue in the house. Why did you purchase this? Why did you waste your money? I don't know how the fight happens, but I'm just guessing some example like that only. So now when they're fighting like this, now why it is fighting is happening? Because this the mind is not able to tolerate. There is no gratitude. And then there is a fight. I am not telling who is right, who is wrong. I am telling it's a problem with mind. Everybody is good people. So why I am giving this example is I am trying to make the point that this is how we should become happy. So when people say that no, Nishkam Karma Yoga, just give up the result. Give him a result, what will happen that? That will make our mind very appropriate. It will help our mind to remain free. Otherwise, this attachment is a bondage, it's a pain, it's a slavery. It's a very humiliating situation. It's like we are in a fearful swamp of fearfulness, humiliating swamp of fearfulness. We continue to remain in that. And yeah, anyway, we'll continue. So here, after all the sages returned to their respective hermitage, the mother of King Vena, Sunita, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to perceive the dead body of her son by application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras, mantra yogena. So she preserved the body. She's too attached to the body. This is called Dehatma Buddhi, bodily identification. She's thinking the my son is the body only. No, your son is the soul who already left. But she's not understanding that. She's thinking, no, this body is my son. And then she continued to keep that body. And then Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in the river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties to offer oblations unto the sacrificial fire. After thus sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. So they just continued their regular duties which they used to do. And then on those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were that was creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk among themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves. And this is actually what happens. See, whenever there is a disturbance in the state or a panic situation, the property and lives of citizens becomes unsafe. This is caused by the uprising of various thieves and rogues. At such a time, it is to be understood that the ruler or the government is dead. All the misfortunes happened due to the dead King Vena. Thus, the saintly persons became very anxious for the safety of people in general. The conclusion is that even though, you see, the conclusion is that even though saintly persons have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. So we should also not have any business with politics. Thus, even though they are aloof from all form society, always aloof from society, out of mercy and compassion, they consider how the citizens can peacefully executed their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma. You see, this is the point. They want them to follow the rules because that will help them. That was the concern of the sages. In this age of Kali, everything is disturbed. Therefore, saintly person should take to the chanting of Hare Krishna. It is not Varnashrama, it is chanting of Hare Krishna. So both is concluding. This is recommended in Shastra. So for Kali Yuga, Varnashram was for previous ages. Kali Yuga is, Prabhupada is separating it. That was the concern of the sages. But in Kali Yuga, therefore, saintly person should do this. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Iva Kevalam Kalu Nasteva 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 Gatiranyata. Both for spiritual and material prosperity, everyone should devotedly chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So here, and then next is when the great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way, they saw a dust storm arising from all directions. This storm was caused by the running of thieves and rogues who were engaged in plundering the citizens. So the thieves and rogues simply await some political upset in order to take the opportunity to plunder the people in general, to keep thieves and rogues inactive in their profession. A strong government is always required. So we have uh, Yogi in Uttar Pradesh. He's actually a good king in one way and a good ruler in one way because he's punishing all the thieves and rogues. And that is correct actually at one level. Everybody's getting benefited because of that. And the great sage, yeah. So this is upon seeing the death storm, the saintly persons could understand that there was a great deal of irregularities due to the death of King Vena. Without government, the state was devoid of law and order, and consequently, there was a great uprising of murderers, thieves, and rogues who are plundering the riches of people in general. Although the great sages could subdue the disturbance by their powers, just as they could kill the king, they considered it improper on their part to do so. Thus, they did not attempt to stop the disturbance. You see, now they understood their limitations. They understood the limitations. Brahmanas didn't want to interfere. The sages. So Shreyam Sudharmo Vidagnaha. Sudharma. So they want to do their Swadharma. Their Swadharma is only to practice spirituality. So the saintly persons and great sages killed Vena out of emergency. But they did not choose to take part in the government in order to subdue the uprising of thieves and rogues, which took place after the death of Vena. It is not duty. You see, it is not the duty. They want to follow their Swadharma. It is not a duty of Brahmanas and saintly persons to kill. Although they may sometimes do so in case of an emergency, they could kill all the thieves and rogues by the powers of their mantras. But they thought it is a duty of a Kshatriya. This is not the Sudharma. Shreya Sudharma Vignaha Paradharma Vayavaha. So even if you are able to do others' dharma, you should not do it. Why? Because that will not give any benefit. Like no, the Brahmana should not try to become a king, and a washerman should not try to become a Brahmana. So they just do their dharma and they can be perfected. Thus they reluctantly took did not take part in killing business. The great sages began to think that although a Brahmana is peaceful and impartial because he is equal to everyone, it is still not his duty to neglect humans. By such neglect, a Brahmana's spiritual power diminishes. So this is the point. For Brahmanas, spiritual power diminishes just as water kept in a crackpot leaks. So if you are doing others' duty, you are endangering yourself. So Brahmanas equal to all. So if you don't neglecting, diminish of spiritual powers. If we neglect duty. Prabhupada writes, Brahmanas, the topmost section of human society, are mostly devotees. They are generally unaware of generally unaware of the happiness within the material world because they are always busy in their activity for spiritual advancement. Nonetheless, when there is calamity in human society, they cannot remain impartial. If they do not do something to reveal the distress, relieve the distress condition of human society, it is said that due to such neglect, their spiritual knowledge diminishes. So even if they neglect also, their spiritual knowledge diminishes. If they did not do something to relieve the distress of the conditions. So that means if you are saintly person, you are not preaching, then we will lose our power. Almost all the sages go to the Himalayas for their personal benefit. Prahlad said that he did not want liberation alone. He decided to wait until he was able to deliver all the fallen souls of the world. In their elevated conditions, the Brahmanas are called Vaishnavas. There are two types of Brahmanas, namely Brahmana Pandita and Brahmana Vaishnava. A qualified Brahmana is naturally very learned, but uh, when his learning is advanced in understanding the Supreme Lord, he becomes a Brahmana Vaishnava. Unless one becomes a Vaishnava, one's perfection of Brahmanical culture is incomplete. And saintly persons considered very wisely, and although King Vena was very sinful, he was born in a family descending from Dhruva Maharaj. Therefore, the semen in the family must be protected by the Supreme Lord, Keshava. As such, the sages went to take some steps to relieve the situation for want of a king was being disturbed and turned topsy-turvy. So they killed him, but they thought, it is not working only. After killing, it is becoming worse. So the sages decided that the descendant of the family of King Anga should not stop. For in his family, the semen was very powerful and the children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. So we'll see what Prabhupada writes. The purity of hereditary success is called Amogha Virya. The pious seminal succession in the twice-born families of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas especially, as well as in the families of Vaishyas also, must be kept very pure by the observation of purificatory process beginning with Garbhadana Sanskara, which is observed before conceiving a child. Wow, this is very important. It's actually by birth also, na, the quality of a person remains. We should know that birth is the criteria, no, to some extent, because you see here very clearly that is mentioned. That's the reason actually Vichitravirya, Chitrangada, when they died, Ambika and Ambalika, they got children from Vyasadeva. Because uh, the reason is that their the child who was going to come from the womb of such mothers, they are going to have that qualities. That is the reason. So even when Pandu could not produce children, and they came through demigods and Kunti and Madri, they were very powerful. So the quality of the children that comes from a Kshatriya mother or like Kshatriya, that's a Dhruv Maharaj. How much he is small boy and he is having such a Kshatriya spirit. So that is actually the point, that uh, the quality is maintained. So Prabhupada is also telling that the seminal succession of twice-born families as well as families must be kept very pure by the observation of purificatory process, which is observed before conceiving the child. Unless this purificatory process is strictly observed, especially by the Brahmanas, the family descendants becomes impure. So this is actually what happened to all the, and gradually sinful activities becomes visible in the families. Maharaj Anga was very pure because of purification of semen in the family of Maharaj Diva. However, his semen became contaminated in association with his wife Sunita, who happened to be the daughter of death personified. So why it is so particular that no horoscopes are matched before marriage, caste is taken care in, caste is considered very much, because it's not just this is not just some ritualistic tendency, or it's not even what do you say, uh, a discrimination. No, it's actually, it's a science. So people don't understand this science. They only criticize. They say, "Oh, Indian society is full of caste system, discrimination, and all these allegations they are there." But they don't understand this science properly. So clearly, he says that this. By we see Anga made a mistake of marrying Sunita, and you see the result. How much damage it created to the society. Now, when you don't go according to the caste, actually, it is always good to go according to the caste, because that helps you to what because the traditions will be a little bit easier to follow, and the mindset is similar only. That's why it helps. Of course, I am not telling that there will not be any no assurance that they will continue. There will be fights there also, and intercaste also there will be fights and there will be cooperation. But in general, it is recommended because it helps in a greater extent. The boy should be always in a higher caste or with higher qualities. That is very much recommended. The boy should have higher qualities, or of course, higher caste is generally expected that they should have. So man should always be in a higher position. So that helps the marriage and all. So, and woman, of course, even if she's little less also it works. But in case of Vena Anga, it became very bad. You see what Prabhupada writing. The semen becomes contaminated in association with his wife Sunita, who happened to be the daughter of death personified. Because of this polluted semen, King Vena was produced. This was a catastrophe in the family of Dhruv Maharaj. All the saintly persons sages considered this point and they decided to take action in this matter as described above. So they look for a very qualified woman also, qualified man, qualified woman, especially for a post like this where they want to produce kings. they should be extra careful that and even Brahmanas are also extra careful that they choose very qualified wives so that they can continue the knowledge and give knowledge to others. After making the decision, the saintly persons and sages churned the thighs of the dead body of King Vena with great force and according to a specific method. As a result of this churning, a dwarf-like man was born from King Vena's body. So, Prabhupada writing that a person was born by the churning of thighs of King Vena proves that the spirit soul is individual and separate from body. Wow. Prabhupada is a very nice point to say. He says that because King Vena's body is separate and the spirit soul is separate from the body. That's why from his body another body came. How that body came? Because of the spirit soul. So body, it is not any mutations. The great sages and saintly persons could beget another person from the body of a dead King Vena. But it was not possible for them to bring back Vena back to life. You see, King Vena was gone and certainly he had taken another body. Saintly persons, sages were only concerned with the body of Vena because it was a result of the seminal succession in the family of Dhruv Maharaj. So that means they are taking the DNA of DNA of King Anga, Dhruv Maharaj DNA. So DNA of Dhruv Maharaj. So they wanted to have a DNA properly so that you get the same type of person. So nowadays they have this technology they are trying to develop. They want to make a what do you say the clone whatever. They want to make the same person with the help of DNA. They say we use the same DNA and we can produce the same. Like you have Hitler, take the DNA of Hitler, you can again produce another Hitler. So that was the point they're trying to. Of course, here, but it is a separate person. But they wanted to take this seminal succession. Consequently, the ingredients by which another body could be produced were there in the body of King Vena. By a certain process, when the thigh of a dead body was churned, another body came out. Although dead, the body of King Vena was preserved by drugs and mantras chanted by King Vena's mother. In this way, the ingredients for the production of another body were there. When the body of a person named Bahuka came out of the dead body of King Vena, it was really not very astonishing. It was simply a question of knowing how to do it. From the semen of one's body, another body is produced, and the life symptoms are visible due to the soul's taking shelter of this body. One should not think that it is impossible for another body to come out of a dead body of Maharaj Vena. This was performed with the skillful action of the sages. So they are actually semen is not there now. What is there is DNA only. So they have that DNA. DNA is transferred because that has that potency to rule the world. This person, born from King Vena's thigh, was named Bahuka, and his complexion was dark as a crow's. All the limbs of his body was very short. His arms and legs were short, and his jaws was large. His nose was flat, his eyes were reddish, and his hair copper colored. So he was some sort of personality came there. And he was very submissive and meek. And immediately after his birth, he bowed down and inquired, Sir, what shall I do? The sages replied, Please sit down. Nishada. Sit Nishada. Thus Nishada, the father of Nishada race, was born. It is said in the Shastras that the head of a body represents Brahmanas, the arms represent Kshatriyas, abdomen, Vaishyas, legs, thighs represents the Shudras. The Shudras are sometimes called black or Krishna. The Brahmanas are called Shukla or white. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas are mixed with black and white. However, those who are extraordinarily white are said to have skin produced out of white leprosy. It may be considered that white or golden hue is a color of highest caste and black is the complexion of the Shudras. Actually, Prabhupada's, they were Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I think, is a Vaishya class. So it's not actually class, but it's the quality is a Vaishnavas. After this is Nishada's birth. He immediately took charge of all the resultant actions of King Vena's sinful activities. As his Nishada class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they only allowed to live in the hills and forest. The Prabhupada said the Nishadas are not allowed to live in the cities, towns because they are sinful by nature. As such, their bodies were very ugly and their occupations are also sinful. We should, however, know that even those sinful men who are sometimes called Kiratas can be delivered from their sinful conditions to the topmost Vaishnava platform by the mercy of a pure devotee. Engagement in transcendental loving service of the Lord can make anyone, however sinful he may be, fit to return home back to Godhead. So one has only to become free from all contaminations by the process of devotional service. So माम ही पार्थ व्यपाश्रित एक पेश पापेन स्त्रियो वैश्यस्तथा शूद्र तेपियांति परामृति. Thus in the Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, the fourth canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Story of King Vena. Any questions, comments on the yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. I was hearing from YouTube. Prabhuji, you explained about two types of Brahmanas, no, Prabhuji. Can you please tell the difference between them, Prabhuji?
Oh, Prabhupada says Brahmanas who knows Brahmajana is the Brahmana, but other Brahmanas who knows the Supreme Lord more clearly, they becomes Vaishnavas. So one is
Okay.
Brahmanas and Brahmana Vaishnavas, like that.
Okay. This the other Brahmana Pandits, what is their duty, Prabhuji? They don't distribute this spiritual knowledge?
They help in helping understanding Vedic knowledge. They help people to follow Varnashram Dharma and all these things. They are
Okay.
teachers. They are not.
Vedic Shastras is also, it's considered spiritual only, no, Prabhuji. But
They're,
Vaishnavas, in what way they are different? That's what I'm asking, Prabhuji. Because Krishna says he's Brahmana, sir. That is why I'm asking. Like, he is referring there, it is only the Brahmanas or the Brahmana Vaishnavas there, Prabhuji?
Actually, all Brahmanas they worship the Supreme Lord, but devotees, the Brahmanas which are referred, they
Ah,
are like more like saintly. They are exclusively in worshipping the Supreme Lord, and they don't tell Varnashrama. They're just into focusing into directly preaching Krishna consciousness like that.
okay,
They're
Prabhuji.
more
These
more
way,
of a devotional.
okay, Prabhuji. So these Brahmanas, they are in the mode of goodness, whereas Vaishnavas, they are in the Shuddha Sattva. Can we say like that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, they're transcendental in that way
They are
because they're
transcendental
more
in nature.
transcendental.
That
Yeah.
is why they are considered
Yeah, because
above
these
all.
Brahmanas they encourage dharma, artha, kam, moksha. But
Ah, ah,
the Vaishnava Brahmanas they encourage only prema murtuman, highest perfection.
yes, Prema. They focus on liberation only. It's like
Yeah,
that, Prabhu.
dharma, artha, kam, moksha. Yeah,
Other Purusharthas only they will be focusing
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But they will be worshipping the Lord, not always the Supreme Lord, Prabhuji, other demigods also. Is it like that?
Actually, they worship Supreme Lord because without
Ah,
worshiping Supreme Lord, they will not attain anything higher. But
ah,
they also have this because they are interested in dharma, artha, kam, moksha part. So that's
okay.
why they do demigod worship also.
Okay.
So that is a
So that,
part of Vedic sacrifices, worshipping Indra, worshipping other demigods. It's a part of Vedic sacrifices because they follow this Vedic sacrifice and they worship Vishnu also.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yamuna, Yamuna Nair. Any questions? You can unmute. Yamuna Nair. Unmute yourself. Yamuna Nair, you have to unmute yourself. If you want. Okay, anybody, anything else? Yamuna, you have to unmute yourself. I'm not able to hear you. If you have any questions. Okay. We'll end here. Thank you all very much. ग्रंथ Srimad Bhagavatam की जय. Srila Prabhupada.